Good morning, everybody. It's the 2nd of October. We are Signal Centre Talking Ball. I'm Joe Neighbour, joined by Ian Coleman and Steve O'Hare. Morning, guys.
Morning,
Good
all.
morning.
We made it to Friday,
Yay.
Yay, another Friday.
a non-farm Friday as well.
Non-farm egg roll, lovely.
Mm.
Everyone's very excited about the volatility that we see today.
Well, we're getting volatility without non-farms at the minute, aren't we? Due to the news overnight that President Trump has got coronavirus
Yeah,
and will be quarantining for 14 days. I don't know how that's going to impact his election campaign. Obviously, that's a 2 week chunk that's been taken out of it, and it's only a month away, so
Put it on hold, surely.
maybe that's all part of the plan.
Yeah,
yeah.
fake news, mate. Fake news.
Maybe it's all part of the plan. Who knows?
He's running well behind at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Biden's
so,
about 74%, isn't he? Well, last count.
apparently, but who can believe these polls after what we've seen in the past? Last election, Hillary was supposed to be clear favourite, and Brexit wasn't supposed to happen, and more stuff like that. So who
Yeah,
knows?
fair shout.
So markets didn't like the news initially when Donald Trump tweeted that he had contracted coronavirus, and the markets actually tanked, equity markets in particular. And obviously, the focus now shifting to the president's well-being. And from a market perspective, we've seen a risk-off move as stocks decline and assets flow into safe havens such as bonds and dollars. Anything on the chart standing out, particularly as a result of this overnight move from either of you? Steve, do you want to take a look at some indices?
Yeah, I mean, just the indices, obviously NASDAQ, we were talking about this yesterday, and I'll show you the daily chart because we said on the Gunted Head Challenge I bought NASDAQ, I'd rather buy a break of the 11,575. It's traded to that level. It got up to 11,615. But it didn't close above there. It obviously this news came out. Well, when did the news come out? It didn't. It basically. Sorry, that's today's chart. It closed at 11,583. So it closed above the 11,575 level, but then reversed overnight. Gave away all the gains of yesterday. Got down to around about 11,320, and it's bounced back quite aggressively. So breaking down on the hourly chart, you can see it here. There's these previous swing lows here. That's where it's held. There's another level down here. Obviously, more affected the US stocks a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, as we look at on the weekly basis, it hasn't really had too much of an impact. We're still in sort of around the same levels. We've still got Dow breaking out of this ending wedge potentially. NASDAQ, bit of a reversal formation. Again, this 50% of the retracement is 11,575, and that looks to be rejected now. So are we back on a bearish tact? It's very difficult. This, if we look at the last hour in the S&Ps, it's a bit of a, we've got another 12 minutes to go, but we've had this bounce back, but then has it failed on the bounce back? So slightly bearish on equities going into today, but we've got non-farm payroll later. So I'm sure that will save the day for equities.
Quite possibly. I mean, looking at the news overnight, aside from obviously the Donald Trump news, the virus infection rates in big cities are once again turning them into hotspots. On Thursday, New York reported the most cases since May. We've touched upon, obviously, we're getting more cases because we're doing more testing. London is also said to be at a tipping point with numbers continuing to rise. So clearly some more concern there. Oil is back in focus as well. Conflicting signals about US fiscal stimulus and concerns about rising supplies from global producers. Crude is now set for its second consecutive weekly decline. If you look at some of the big wigs in the oil sector, such as BP and Royal Dutch Shell, they're both trading near 25-year lows on their charts. And obviously, I imagine they have got a fair amount of money invested in them, for many years, and people are probably suffering in their pensions, I would have thought, as a result of that. If we just take a quick look at the oil chart, this is the crude oil chart. This is a daily chart as well. We've touched upon this before. This big gap that was created back here when the corona thing really started kicking off, and that was obviously what propelled oil prices lower, and we saw that negative price on the futures contracts. We've seen prices rally towards that gap, not really do much above and beyond the gap, so that acts as resistance, and now we are turning lower again. The next key level to focus on for me is 36.42, which is this swing low from the 8th of September. If that gets taken out, then I think we've got a decent sort of top in place there, and we could see prices head lower over the medium term. So that was one thing I was looking at. Gold. Difficult one with gold. I mean, obviously, I talked about this triangle pattern, and we've all spoke about that. It broke down from there, but maybe the triangle is actually a wedge.
You can squint and see a wedge there. Yeah, I was going to say.
So need to be a bit wary of that, I suppose. You know, if it's that instead, and we are actually still within this longer term uptrend. Overall, just expecting more choppy price action, I think, with gold in the short to medium term, and I guess a lot will be dependent on the US dollar, which, Ian, you can talk us through the current state of play on that now, if you've got a chart ready. Cool.
All about sterling and dollar at the moment. Nothing else is really moving. If we look to this chart, it looks quite complex, but down here is a prime buy zone, but up here is a prime sell zone. So 94.17 is our bespoke resistance on the dollar basket. So I'm expecting another move to the upside. If we break it, that's the time frame on that one. It's 4-hour chart. If we break it down into a shorter time frame, we've potentially got the bullish Gartley. So moving up, and again, choppy price action, non-farm payroll Friday. So if we get up towards this level, which is 93.91, there's potential for a move down to here. This is the prime buy zone for that corrective move to the upside. So 93.63, 93.63 is confluence area. So it's a 127.2% extension of this move, and it's a 78.6% pullback of the XA level. So expecting high volatility, dip buying on a daily basis, and setting into rallies on a more medium-term outlook, really. So just expecting to get chopped around really today, which is quite typical of non-farm Friday. So here, sort of looking back at sort of euro dollar, we've just been consolidating. Potential for a move up here as that dollar moves down, and then a move to the downside as dollar moves up. Cable really just whipsaw in this at the moment, with further Brexit talks again today, and again just staying within this range, really, buying dips and selling rallies. Again, there's not a great deal to talk about, to be perfectly honest, in FX at the moment. It's all a bit mixed. Again, buying dips and then sort of selling rallies up here as far as the dollar pairs are concerned. Here we broke out. This is dollar CAD, broke out of a triangle formation, but this reverse trend line's held quite well. Again, sort of buying dips and then selling rallies, probably up at the reverse trend line resistance. So again, just choppy price action. Aussie dollar, I suppose out of all the currency pairs, has probably favoured the best, but I think we're just going to see a corrective move down here before the next rally up, probably towards this trend line resistance at 72.60. Looking at sterling crosses, because sterling's going to be in focus again today. Quite like, where is it? Not that one. Still quite like this, really. I think it gives quite a good opportunity. We've had a decent spike to the upside today, but down here is a confluence zone, so I'm still expecting some sterling losses, basically, to then buy into. But I think the downside is favoured, and we talked about this yesterday. We got in on this on the trade of the day, had a nice break to the downside, didn't hold it, came back up, retested 261.8%, and it's now moving lower and we've just bounced off that trendline support now overnight. Potential for a bullish head and shoulders formation.
Yeah, like that.
You
But
go
yeah,
for
it's
that
very
one.
mixed, isn't it? It's not
Very.
nothing sort of clear
No.
cut, and
And I don't think the figures are going to give us any light either. I mean, if you look at most of the yen crosses, you know, all right, decent move to the downside overnight, but are there going to be retests? Which it looks like on a few of them. But then when you look at sterling yen, is it going to be a right shoulder? So again, it's really mixed at the moment technically.
Yep. And that's going to make it difficult for everybody participating, I would have thought. And if we take a look at gun to the head yesterday, fairly mixed for us as well. Steve, you did have a win on Nasdaq yesterday of 0.71R at the 9 o'clock close.
Well done.
So well done for keeping us afloat. Ian and I were stopped out on our trades on the short of dollar yen and the long of euro New Zealand dollar. So hoping we can correct that today, although it's probably going to be a lot down to luck, given that there are a few risk events, obviously Brexit talks and non-farm payrolls today, as well as obviously more news about how Trump's faring with the virus. Have any of you got a trade ready to go?
No.
I'm actually going to replicate what I did yesterday, which was looking at euro New Zealand dollar. I was trading within this sort of corrective channel. It's dipped down to a 50%. This is just a really short-term chart, an hourly chart. Got chopped around in here. Nothing really happened. But if I look at the price action over the last hour in particular, we've got this big old candle here, which, you know, we made a new low. Then we've rallied all the way back up to close above the 10-period moving average. So I'm hoping that we're going to see a continuation higher there. So I'm going to place a stop below the low of the last hour, which is at 176.32. The market price is 176.70, and I'm going to target a move to 178.10. Best of a bad bunch for me at the minute. 3.7R if that plays out from here.
Good luck.
Who's next?
Stevie, do you want to go? I've got one, but
Yeah, you go, E.
yeah, sterling Swiss, going to go for this crab to form. So I'm going to get my stop above this 78.6% pullback level. That's of this decline, which is quite a common retracement. And I'm going for a target of 115.85, which is down here, which is basically 224% of that move there. So I'm getting short at 118.83, targeting 115.85. Stop at 119.40, given 5R and expecting the sterling volatility.
Okay, lovely. Stevie.
Yeah, I'm a bit undecided, so I'll dive into Nasdaq again. I'll go the other way today. We've had this obviously big sell-off on the back of Trump's tweet that he's got COVID. We've had the rally back, probably around 50%. Yeah, 50%. So yeah, and so I'm going to sell it, get short here. Oh, am I cheating now? I am cheating there. 11,391.5. The stop on this will be, oh, it's moved. I'll have the stop at 11,164. Oh, that's too far. 11,000. I'll put it, it's not price. 11,464. And I'll go for a target a move to the lows. 11,200. What does that give me? 2.64 to 1.
11,200 was that?
Yeah, 11,200.
So what was your entry?
11,390. I'm going to take 2 now.
Okay.
I like to round it up. I just don't. 2.6. That's not round, is it? But the stop is at the 50% retracement. Looking to sell off.
Okay. Lovely stuff. So those are the trades today. Steve is selling Nasdaq, Ian is selling sterling Swiss, and I'm buying Euro New Zealand dollar. I'll post those up in the blog. As we mentioned, we have non-farm payrolls today. Anyone seen any expectations? I've got 1.2 million jobs expected to have been created this month. Previous month.
Let's have a look.
The only, just while you're looking, can I just show you the copper? Just want to
800.
go over copper.
Yeah, 850k FX Street have got.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, go on, Steve. Show us copper.
Call it copper. Yes, I wanted to look at copper. Basically, we had this big old sell-off yesterday. So we're obviously trading just above the $3 area, got up to $3.12, and yesterday obviously had this bearish outside candle, very negative for markets, a little bit based on dollar strength, but also inventories. So wasn't too great for the copper, but support below is around $2.77. We're trading at 287.60. So negative on copper. We've had a little bit of a pullback this morning. So obviously trying to pull back, but it's had a big old sell-off here. So on the defensive in copper.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I think that pretty much rounds up everything for today and for the week. Unless anybody else has got anything else.
Nope.
So what are you gonna do next week when I'm not here? You're gonna struggle, aren't you?
Yeah, quite possibly. I think we'll muddle through, but
yeah. Okay. I think we'll see the viewers drop drastically.
What, from 4 to 3?
It'd be negative.
Yeah. Well, my mum's definitely not watching you two. They're like bumbling
If she
idiots.
normally does.
Yeah, I know. Hi, mum.
All right. Well, have a great week, Steve.
All right, and you.
Yeah, we'll catch you when you're back, and have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah,
Cheers.
enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.